Hey guys, and welcome to today's tips for change. Today we're going to talk about change because so many of us are facing so many changes. So I have five coaching tips, powerful coaching tips for you today. I already shared these with my membership group, and they loved them. And one of the things I really enjoyed was hearing which one was their favorite. So as we're going through these today, let me know if there's one that really stands out to you in the comments. So here we go. 5 powerful tips for change. Number 1, give yourself permission to change. Yep, you may think it's not a thing, but it totally is. You may need to have a talk with yourself and give yourself permission to stop what you normally do, right? To go a different direction, to say yes when you would normally say no. That would be me. I tend to need permission to change, to make a change because for some reason, I set these self-imposed laws for myself, and I tend to want to try to reach those self-imposed laws, and those standards are so high that I can't. So I need to hear that I have permission to make those changes. All right. Number 2, practice responding differently than you always have in the past. What? Yes. And yes, you can actually do that. But it takes practice because those beautiful minds of yours, they have muscle memory. Practice will challenge your muscle memory. It'll challenge those unhealthy patterns of thinking, and it'll allow you to change your stinking thinking. Now, a lot of us have heard that term before, stinking thinking. Stinking thinking is when we're thinking things that are negative that are actually towards us. Because one thing that I've learned in my own walk with God is that my flesh, it's never in favor of me. It's always against me. So if I'm thinking negatively about myself, it's stinking thinking. And it's time to change that. So you can tell yourself that you have permission to change. Number 3, tell yourself a different story, or tell yourself the story from a different angle, a different perspective. Why? Because your version of the story is being impacted by trauma, usually by trauma from your past, and it's impacting today. It's impacting your present. So because your body and emotions respond to the trauma from the past based on the why and the how, tell yourself the story from a different perspective, from a positive perspective. Stop chewing on the fat that is you. Stop doing that. That's a terrible thing to do. And yet, the very skeleton we're chewing on is us. So stop doing that. Tell yourself the story from a different perspective. Look at it from God's point of view. Whenever I look at things from God's point of view, it totally changes the situation. And to be honest, my struggle with that is that I want to continue to feast on myself. I've got to stop doing that. I need to start looking at things from God's perspective. And as we look at things from His perspective, if we'll use His lens if I'll use God's lens instead of my faulty lens, I'll actually begin to see it from a different perspective. And that is when real change can happen. Number 4, stop mind reading. It's not your superpower. I know you think it is, but it's not. You can't mind read. You believe that you can, but you can't. If you think it's your superpower, then you've deceived yourself into thinking that it is. For instance, I know exactly what they're thinking and why they did what they did. No, you don't. No, you don't. You think you do, but I promise you don't. We need to start giving our husbands and our wives, if any husbands are watching this, we need to start giving each other the benefit of the doubt, because what we're doing is we are looking back at our past, at their past behaviors, right? And we're looking at their patterns of behavior, and we're taking that and we're justifying the thoughts that we have in our mind concerning them. And our thoughts are wrong. Why? Because we're not doing it from the perspective that's actually good. We're doing it from the wrong perspective. We're making decisions in our mind and we're believing them against our spouse. And we've got to stop doing that. Again, it's not your superpower no more than it is mine. And then number 5, stop fortune telling. What? Yes. Meaning it's about meaning something that you'll catch yourself saying, it's always been that way and it will never change. Or I know it's coming. Or I know what's going to happen. I know what they're going to do. And I know why they're doing what they're doing. No, no, you don't. If you had a conversation with your spouse, then yes, you could possibly know what's going on. But even then, they're not always 100% coming forward. Stop fortune telling. You may not realize it, but the truth is this is actually a form of witchcraft, and it's rooted in lies. It's rooted in a spirit of lies. And I've not seen it. If you've not seen it from this perspective, then I hope you can do now. I hope you can now, and you'll stop it. Sorry, I didn't mean to muddle that. But let's say that again, just because I muddled it. Stop fortune telling. You think you know what they're thinking, but you don't. No, you don't. You may not realize it, but the truth is, this is a form of witchcraft rooted in lies. If you've not seen it from this perspective, I hope that you can now. So, here's our 5 tips again. Number 1, give yourself permission to change. Number 2, practice responding differently than you have in the past. Number 3, tell yourself the story from a different angle, a different perspective, God's perspective, a positive perspective. Number 4, stop mind reading. It's not your superpower. And number 5, stop fortune telling. Stop thinking that you know why somebody did what they did. Chances are they did what they did out of something completely off topic, completely out of context than the context that you're drawing it into. So I hope these tips help you today, and let me know which one is your favorite. And if you want to add one in the chat. I would love to see your thoughts on change. All right, thanks everyone. Have a great day.